Hey guys, this is Tressa with Gallup Coaching, and we want to take you from barrier to breakthrough. Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today's video is a replay of a live series of videos that we did called Mindset Monday. And in this series, we explore the power of our thoughts and how through brain science and wisdom, we can learn to take authority over those thoughts and emotions and learn to shift our mindsets from negative to positive. And by doing this, learn the best ways to manage our most important resources, our time, our energy, and our money. Today's video is all about the battles that we fight every day, how we can find that inner courage and become the victor in the battlefield of our finances. So let's get started. Hey guys, Tressa here, just checking in with you all on this Monday, and we have another Mindset Monday for you today. And it is raining and storming outside my window over here, and we are under a tornado watch here in Texas. So if I all of a sudden run out of the room, that's why. But we're gonna pray that doesn't happen today. So I want to talk to you guys today about this mindset that it's a really important one to me. In our financial growth challenge, you might have noticed that when I talk to you all, I often call you my warriors. And that is because we face these battles every day in our life and with our money especially. And over the lifetime that I've experienced, I have fought thousands of battles. There have been big battles and small ones and ones that felt like war and ones that just really affected us in a lot of negative ways. So today I want to talk to you guys. I might want to turn on my light so that we can see. Today I want to talk to you guys about the difference between the mindset of being a victor and the mindset of being a victim. So this victim mindset that we can take on, that we can adopt actually really easily, is super common. And I actually had a lot of this that I had to work through that I didn't even realize that's what it was, because it was just normal for me. And maybe when I talk about some of the characteristics of someone who has a victim mindset, you might realize that, hey, that's been normal for me too. So, what is a victim? A victim is defined as a person who is harmed or injured as the result of an event or action. So, this mentality that we can get, it's when we recognize ourselves as being a victim of the negative actions or events that are beyond our control. So it's really a powerless feeling like no matter what we do, it's not going to change anything. The results and our own success are out of our control. So, and this can happen to all different types of people, those that like to hold on to control really tight, and those that are more laid back and more go with the flow kind of people. It can happen to both. So, what are some characteristics of someone with this mentality? If you do have a victim mentality, you might blame others for the way that your life is. You might truly think that life is against you. You have trouble coping with different problems in your life, and you feel powerless against those problems. You think to yourself, bad things happen, and they're just going to keep happening. And this may not be something you feel about in all areas of life, but maybe just one area. Maybe you can't stop overspending on something, and you just think, well, that's going to keep happening and it's not ever going to get any better. You might also think, if you have a victim mentality, that other people or circumstances are always to blame. So if you avoid taking responsibility, you might be perceiving yourself as a victim unfairly. You might also think that any efforts to create change are going to fail, so why even try? So this can happen for sure whenever you've had some failures or defeat in one area over and over again. Real easy to just take that road and say, I'm just the victim here. There's nothing I can do. People who have this mentality really strongly, they won't show very much interest in trying new things or trying to make change. They might reject an offer of help if someone tries to help. They might get angry or upset about it. And they might seem like they're only interested in feeling sorry for themselves. So someone who has this mentality to the extreme would be that person that just sucks the life and energy out of any room that they walk into. They have something negative to say about anything that's said to them. They never smile. They have frown lines. They just feel draining to be around. So we probably can all recognize that in someone that we've been around at some point. And that is an extreme victim mentality. I want you guys to know that spending time acknowledging being in a bad circumstance and validating those feelings is okay. It's okay to spend some time there. Bad things happen. We don't want to just ignore those and live in denial and not be in the land of reality where bad things never happen. But we don't want that to make a place where we stay for the long term. So my mom used to say, that's a place you can visit, but you don't want to dwell there. So we don't want to stay there so long that we start picking up bricks and logs and building ourselves a house there and living there permanently, because it's such an unhealthy place to be long term. So short term, acknowledging something bad happened, maybe there were parts of it that were out of our control, acknowledging our feelings, that's all healthy. But staying there in the long term is not healthy. So we want to move into a place of change, a place of healing, and become a victor. So in our challenge video this last week, our entire lesson was about fear. And we didn't even do a mindset shift in that video because it was pretty obvious we were talking about Going from a place of fear to a place of courage. A courage that we all have inside of us. Every single one of us. You have courage. You do. You have quite a big measure of it. And you will surprise yourself when it starts to come out, when you allow that to happen. A victor is defined as a person who defeats an enemy or an opponent in a battle. So, like I said in the beginning, we face battles every day. And often they're not our choice. So, we have a battle in our mind. Should I do this? Should I do that? Decision making. We have battles at work. We have to learn to cooperate with all different types of people. We have battles at home with our families, with our spouses, with our loved ones. And we'll have different opinions and different ideas, and when we're learning, it's constant challenge. It's constant going up against something. And you can either choose to let that be difficult for you and choose to just basically give up your right to courage and just let everything pile up on you. Or you can choose to bring that inner courage that's already there out, to let it out. And getting to the point where you conquer that fear and are victorious in your battles. And at the end of every challenge video, we tell you that victory is yours. And I really mean that. It's yours. It's there for the taking. And it's not even that hard to find. But we have to be willing to try. We have to be willing to pull out that courage, dust it off, and let it do its work. Because we were made to be victorious in these battles. We were made to be able to go through them and grow and become something beautiful and become all the more courageous and bold for it and ready for the next thing. And it doesn't have to be something that we're afraid to do. It's a natural process. It's how we were created. And guys, it took me a long time to figure that out. So I want you to get to the point where you believe that that's really true. Here's some characteristics of the victor. So if you have the victor mentality, you believe that you are in control of your life, that you do have a large measure of control over maybe not your circumstances, but your reaction to those circumstances. That your feelings don't dictate what you do, but you tell your feelings that you're gonna do what you need to do in spite of how you feel. The victor also welcomes challenges, knowing that they can be overcome. And they also acknowledge that life is unfair. It can be unfair to everyone, instead of just complaining about it. And both of these people, the victim and the victor, can sometimes feel like the world is against them. But the difference is that the victim will feel paralyzed by that, and the victor will be motivated by that to go out and make their best life anyway, and change some other people's lives along the way even. A victor has this inward confidence, and this is built up over time. If you've been a victim for a long time, if that's how you see yourself, if that's how you really believe that you are, then it can take a while to shift over to that victor mentality where you have that inward confidence. But it's there. We all have it. It's just finding a way to bring it out in yourself. And if you need more help doing that, we'd be happy to help you do that. So I want to close with this. I want to let you guys know, hey Shay, good to see you. We're talking about mindsets today and the difference between having a victim mentality and a victor mentality, and how we all at one point can very easily have a victim mentality where we feel like everything is against us and we feel powerless to do anything. But we all have that conquering, courageous spirit inside of us that we can bring out. And that takes intention, and sometimes it takes time, and sometimes it takes someone walking with you through it to learn that it can actually happen. So I can remember growing up and very specifically remembering that corporations and companies were bad, and they were always trying to get us, and they were only looking out for their own interests. And so we were suspicious of all of that, and that was very much a victim mentality, because in that situation we didn't have any control, because there's these big powerful corporations, and we can't choose to pay less for an item because all of the corporations are charging this money for this. And so we would look for ways to, try to get back at them however we could, go with this company instead of that company. And it was just really unhealthy. So the victor would really be above all of that. They would know that they would be able to find something that works for them regardless of what someone else is doing in a company. So it would be very much focused on themselves and that inner confidence rather than an outward pressure like the company would be putting on them to pay something for a certain service or good. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. But I do want to leave you with this. Sometimes a victory does come as a result of a fight. Sometimes we've got to fight, and that's what courage looks like. We need to fight to get to the next level. We need to often fight for ourselves and against those negative mindsets that we might have grown up with or that we've adopted for whatever reason. But sometimes victory comes as a result of surrender and submission. And this is not something that people are taught very often, but sometimes it is much more courageous and bold to lay down your weapon and to call a truce and to give up something that you've been gripping so tightly that your entire body is sore from holding on to it. I heard a great woman of God earlier today talking about how letting go is easier than holding on, and she's right. A lot of times we gain that victory and we find that courage by letting go of some things that are not so great for us, or letting go of things that we think we need but we really don't. So I want to encourage you all to find that inner victor today. You were not made for fear, you were made for courage, and it is in each and every one of you. So I pray that someone crosses your path, or that you hear another encouraging word this week that gives you confirmation that that area where you have been a victim in is no longer a battlefield that you don't belong on. So you get to participate in that and bring yourself out of it, whether it's through fight or through surrender. And I love you all. I will see you all later in this week. Bye, guys.